Hey guys, Anthony Ace Michael is back with a mid-season special here, going through a few things. If you've been following me, you have, obviously you're in the green, which is really good, and that's what I really tried to focus on here, is to get everybody in the green, start out right, no matter what you were betting, how you were betting it. But there's other ways to take advantage, and it ain't just who's going to win or lose, who's hurt, who's not, matchups, trends. There's other ways you could take advantage to further your winnings and stay in the green. The number one thing that I preach that separates the elite up here from the 99% over here is money management. If you don't have money management, just play for fun, win or lose, that's fine. That's kind of the level you'll be at. But if you want to try to take it to the next level, it's definitely money management. And there's a few ways you could look at it. If you first started out, I don't know what sports books you used. I was saying there's on bestsportspickstoday.com. You don't have to go to the website, but I break down a bunch of different sports books. You go to those sports books and you could take advantage of bonuses. And what I like to do is I sign up for 15 different sports books and I shop for the best odds. So there's going to be an odd fluctuation of a point or even more in some of these sports books. They don't up to date as much, as fast as the other ones. So you take advantage there. You could see which way the point spreads are moving. That's how I kind of figure out my early point spreads and which way they're going to move from early money and things like that. So first thing, you shop around. Second thing is you get all the bonus money you can, and you use that bonus money to bet parlays and different prop bets that you could win more money, because it's free money, right? Technically it's not, because there's a threshold you have to bet, but that's on a different note. There's a threshold you have to bet to be able to cash that money out, but as long as you make these bets, I would take the parlays, like the three teams I'm given, or something else you like, and put it in a parlay. It was free anyways. Odds are you'll probably hit, if you've been doing that, you've probably hit 3 in a row by betting the parlays also. I like to bet a little bit lower on the parlay. If it hits, you go 4-0. So technically, we could be 12-0 right now instead of 9-0 if you were doing that. So that's one thing I like to do. And the other thing I like to do is I deposit for the entire season. So whatever, I could afford to lose, you could afford to lose, however you're looking at it, that's what you deposit at the beginning of the season to get the biggest bonuses. And then I spread that out throughout a few sports books to get those bonuses and make a few free bets. It's always good to feel those no-risk bets, and they're actually true, and they're not BSing you. They are free bets. It's just people don't know when to stop, and they have zero money management. So talking about money management, that's the number one thing. What you want to do on these games that you're playing for the entire week, we're talking NFL right now. The other sports are a little bit different because there's games every day, but NFL is the easiest way to money manage, because there's only if you play a Thursday game. I know that Trevor Lawrence is playing today, so that's something I might go a little bit low on. But that being said, these are important things. So if you bet $100 a game, keep the 3 games 100. Maybe bet a $25 parlay, something like that. If you go 2-1, you don't lose any money. That's the best way. So now you win 3 weeks in a row, right? So now let's say you're up $900. Okay, you bet 100 each game. You're up 900. You're happy. You could bump it up 125, maybe. It's kind of where you're at, what your bankroll was at the beginning. If you put 1,000 in, you're at 1,900. My rule of thumb is I try not to bet more than 10% of my bankroll. I'm not sure where you're at, but the rule of thumb is to try not to bet it on one game. So you might have, 5% across the board is 15. That's fine, but never try to bet more than 10% of your bankroll. I try not to bet 10% of my bankroll in the entire week. But as I win and as I go, like my next week here will be a little bit higher. I kind of gradually go up a little bit higher each time I win, and if I lose, I go back to where I started. So like, let's say, week 4, that's when I really start to my groove. That's when we start to win some games. I would go, let's say, for instance, I did $250, okay? The next week I might go $275 a game. The next week I might go 300. Now I'm still winning. Even if I went 2-1, I still profited money. The next week, as long as I keep profiting, 300. I'm not going like, all right, let me bet 100 this week. Next week I'm betting 200. Next week I'll bet 400. Because if you do that through the long run, you're not going to be profitable. It's just the way it works. There's juice. They call juice is the interest, or not the interest, the extra 10% that they charge to make the bet. So if you're betting 110, you win 100. If you're betting 100, you win like $90 and whatever, some cents. So yeah, with that in the play, if it was a 50-50, you could get them. But since it's not a 50-50, it's a little bit different. So you have to play it very careful. And as soon as you have a losing week, drop it back down to your original way. Climb the pyramid again. See what you could do. You go up $5, $10, whatever it is. You try to run that streak when you're winning. You try to ride it out, because you could win, and then once you lose, you don't bet more when you lose. Remember that. Do not bet more when you lose. Damn, I'm down 500. I'm going to bet 500 on this game. I lost 3 games there. I'm going to bet 500. I'll be even for the week. You're betting all this money just to be even. Lose the week. You lost, man. There's another week. You won the previous weeks. You lost 1 week. No big deal. This is where people really screw up. I got a few other notes here. Yeah, we were talking about the different books, the bonus plays, shopping for the best odds. Make sure you shop for the odds. It'd take you 5 minutes. All the apps are on the phone. Go through, look at them. Go through them the next day, look at them. You see one's fluctuating, there'll still be one the same as the opening odds. There always is. Lock it in, because you already seen those other ones go up a point. Now they were -3, they're -4 on this site, they're -4.5. Oh, damn, this site only has them still at -3. Lock it in. That's kind of how I do it. I look every single day. I look at odds when I wake up in the morning. I look at odds when I go to sleep. If you're really trying to get involved with it, that's something you want to do. We talked about keeping the same amount each game for the week. So you bet 3 games, it's 100 each, 10 each, 5 each, 1,000 each. Whatever you're going to do, keep it the same. But don't lose your entire bankroll. We're not trying to deposit. Again, if you run out of your bankroll, that's it. I mean, unless you want to redeposit. But me, I bet enough to where I know how many games I'm going to bet. I know I'm not going to go 0 for 30 or whatever it's going to be for the season. So I know about how much I need to bet doing this a very long time. And sometimes you might start out a little bit slow and not have much left. You don't panic. You could drop your bet a little bit, work your way back up. It'll all usually work out. Round robins instead of parlays. I recommend round robins. What a round robin is basically it's a parlay. So let's say you had a 4-team round robin. A 4-team parlay, all 4 of your teams have to win for it to win. It's most likely it's not going to happen. If you're going to bet a parlay, 3 is the most I would look at. Unless you're doing like series or divisions or something like that. I like to do some crazy ones and pick every division winner. It's not a lot, maybe $25, something like that. But round robin is a few parlays together. So let's say you bet a 4-team round robin, but you wanted 2 games. So there's, let's say you bet the Bears and Raiders, right? We'll just say the Bears to win, the Browns to win, or whatever, the Raiders to win, and the Cardinals to win. So 2 of those teams win, you win one of the parlays, because they're all 2-team parlays. So there'll be 3 2-team parlays. If you hit them all, that's where you win the money. But you're betting money on each parlay. So there'd be 3 bets. And with those 3 bets, instead of betting your $25 parlay, maybe you bet a $5 round robin or a $10 round robin or something like that. It kind of keeps you in the game a little bit more. How many times if you hit 3 and lost the 4th one, you would actually win 2 of your 3 bets there. You would come out profitable. And those are things that people don't really know. And they don't really explain these things when you go to a sports book in Las Vegas or you're online. It's really hard to find the round robin option, the teaser option. The parlay's right there. You could see it plain as day. The straight up bets are right there. You could see it plain as day. The teasers they'll give you like 6 points extra if you bet 2 teams. 3 teams. So if you're getting 6, they'll give you 12 on each game you bet, or an extra 6 points on each game. The odds are not very good. I would kind of stay away from it, especially in college. I do not bet college just because it's too up and down. It's basically a toss-up. You don't know what team you're going to get. But yeah, in the pros, it's a little bit more controlled. That's why I try to stick with that. But yeah, look at the round robins, look at the teasers, kind of feel it out, see what it is, Google it. Just trying to explain, the best I know of. And yeah, that's about it. Bankroll is a big part of it, and the more money you put in, the more money you could afford to lose, the bigger gambles you could take, right? So if you start out with depositing 100 and you're betting 25 a game, you have a bad week, you're done. You're redepositing already. So if you're betting 100, don't bet 25 a game. Bet 10 a game, something like that, 5 a game. If you're betting 1,000, yeah, you could bet 100. That's 10% of your bankroll, right? So those are things that I kind of focus on, and I wanted to kind of share some of these details with you guys, just so you could see that there's a lot more advantages than guys like me giving. You could do your own. You don't have to take my picks. You don't have to take Joe Schmo's picks, or Joe Wiz is a big guy that I know in Las Vegas. These guys have good picks. They charge a service, which is fine. They're winning. They're winners. Those guys win a lot of games. But you could kind of do some of this stuff on your own. And then another thing that I really, really, really try to follow, sometimes I don't, but for the most part I do, is I look for games that are less than a touchdown in a point spread. Because if I'm taking a favorite, I never really want to take a game that's more than a touchdown. 6.5 is the most I would go, because a lot of these games end in single-digit wins. And if it's a single-digit win, that's 8 or 9 points you need. Guess what? If you don't get that 8 or 9, if they don't win by that 8 or 9, they win by 7, okay, you get lucky. If the spread goes to 7, you're like, oh, I'm going to still bet them. Now it's a push. Push meaning you didn't win or lose. That's fine. But look at how many other options there are for you to lose. There are 6 points, 5 points, 4 points, 3. Remember, a loss is a loss. A win is a win. So these teams, they don't care what they're winning by. They'll kneel on the ball. You see them running in for a touchdown at the last second. They slide at the goal line to run the clock out. This has happened several times, and a few times this year already, where point spreads lost because of that. I like to take, if there's a team -3 or less, I always take the money line. What is the money line versus the point spread? The point spread is Vegas. The gods of Vegas come up with these lines that they think this team is going to win by. So if a team's -3, they have to win by more than 3. If you take the other side and it's +3, you could lose by 1 or 2 and still win, because you got 3 points. So when the game starts, if you bet the underdog, you're winning 3-0. Forget about what it says on the TV. So at the end of the game, if it's 19-18, your team lost, you still won. The money line is your team just has to win. It doesn't matter. So money line underdogs are pretty good, but I like to take the points because there's so many close games. Your team could actually lose and you actually win. So that being said, if I'm going to take a favorite, you see a lot of my videos, -2, -2.5, -1, -1.5. I take the money line. You're risking a little bit more. Instead of 110 for 100, you might be risking 120 for 100 or 130 for 100. 130, 135 is the highest I'll go. But I've seen it so many times where a team loses or wins by 1, wins by 2, and you had 3. And you can't even celebrate. Your friends are cheering, hey, we won, our team won. And now all of a sudden, you're sitting there in the corner, and I was that guy. Like, oh man, I lost. If I would have just put $10 more or $20 more, I would have won 200. I would have won 1,000, something like that. But that was just something I wanted to share going through here. We're doing very well. Stick with it. NBA will be coming. I ain't going to be doing it every day. I'll try to do some games of the week. But I really appreciate everything you guys do. Click the notification. Hit the like button for you to get up on these videos. Week 7 is already up, so make sure you check it out. See you guys.